Hello, this is Simple Math for you. Our lesson today is locating points on a number line. أهلا بكم في Simple Math for you. ودرسنا اليوم هو إيجاد موقع النقطة على خط الأعداد. In this lesson, we will discuss two parts. First part will be to find a point on a directed line segment on a number line that is a given fractional distance from the initial point. First, let's discuss what is the meaning of directed line segment. While a line segment has two endpoints, for example, this is line segment AB, we can name it AB or BA. We can say that this is line segment AB, or we can say it's BA, no matter what is the first and the initial, or the final point or the terminal point. But for the directed line segment, from the word directed, it has a direction, إلها اتجاه. So that means we have initial point and terminal point, نقطة بداية ونقطة نهاية. It will follow a direction. So we will locate a point from to. تبعد عن نقطة كذا ربع المسافة أو ثلث المسافة أو نصف المسافة من بداية إلى النهاية, because it will make a difference. If you have this point and this point and I want to locate a point somewhere 1/4 from A to B, ربع المسافة من A to B, so as if you are dividing A to B into 4 equal segments, and this will be your point. But if you start from B, this will be 1/4 the distance. So the direction will assign the location of the point. المهم إنه الاتجاه تعرف مين البداية ومين النهاية. So that's why the first point will be x1 and the terminal point will be x2 to know where is the location of the point. So in this part, we will have something called fractional distance, which is the fraction that will be used to find where is the point that you want to locate. So this is the fractional distance from the initial point. What can we do? What are the steps that we are going to follow? First, we will calculate the difference of the coordinates as we have done before, x2 minus x1, if we want A over B from C to D. So this will be x1 and this will be x2. Then we will multiply the distance by the fractional distance given. الكسر نضربها في الكسر اللي معطى, which is A over B. Then we will add it to the initial point because we are moving from here according to the fraction given to us. That's why we are adding x1 here. So this is the formula that you need to memorize. Let's start here. Refer to the number line. Find the coordinate of point G, that is 2/3 of the distance from B to D. So initial point is B, final point is D. What is B? B is -5, so this is -5. D is 1, so this is 1. This is important to find out where is x1, x2. Now, where is A over B? A over B is the fraction that he is giving to you, which is 2/3. Now, we will apply the formula that we need to memorize. So the formula says that the point G will be at x1 plus A over B, x2 minus x1. x1 is -5, A over B is 2/3, x2 minus x1 means 1 minus -5. The minus is a must here. And all other rest steps will be calculations. الباقي يتعوض عادي. -5 plus 2/3, 1 minus -5, which is 6. Multiply first. So it is 6 times 2, 12/3, 4. So -5 plus 4, which is -1. That means the location of G will be at -1 if you want it to be 2/3 the distance from B to D, from B to D here. If you want to do it mentally, this is B to D. And since he's asking about 2 over 3, let's do it, try to make it in an easier way. As if you are dividing this distance into 3 equal parts. 2 to 3 يعني ثلثين المسافة من B ل D. هاي الثلث الأول هاي الثلث الثاني. So فعلا G is at the second third. Let's refer to the number line here. Find the coordinate of point J. I'll change the color. That is 1/6 of the distance from A to E. So A is your x1, E is your x2. Where is A? It's at -7. Where is E? It is at 2. Let's summarize what we have. Where is A over B? This is the fractional distance, 1/6. So he is asking to put the J. We will write the formula. So x1 plus A over B. You have to be very careful. x2 minus x1, so 2 minus 7. So equals -7 plus 1/6, 2 plus 7, which is 9. Multiply first, even if you have a fraction. So it will be -7 plus 9/6. It will be a fraction, it's 1.5. And -7 plus 1.5, which is -5.5. So point J will be at -5.5. So it will be somewhere here. Sometimes it is difficult to predict it mentally. So that's why you need to use the formula. We are asked to find from A to E. Now let's see here what is the known, what is the unknown. Point X is what fractional distance from AE to A? Now we have here E is x1, we have A is x2, and we have X known, X is known now, which is -2, and he is asking about A over B now. This is the unknown in this case. E is x1. Let's see where's x1, because he's asking from E to A, so this is E at A. x2 is A, which is -7. Let's apply the formula that we know. So we have X is the result, which is this one, equal to x1 plus A over B, x2 minus x1. X in our case is -2, x1 in our case 8 plus A over B, which is unknown, x2 minus x1, I'm replacing. So let's simplify. Right? Okay. Sorry, x2 minus x1, there is something here, E to A. Yes, this is x1, x2, x2 minus x1. Yeah, it's okay. صح. And let's take this to the other side as we get used to. -2 minus 8 is equal. That's why I was thinking there's something wrong. -8 equals A over B -15. -10 equals A over B -15. Now this is the unknown that we are looking for. So we will divide both sides by the -15. So my A over B will be negative over negative again. 10 over 15, you can simplify. It will be 2 over 3. So our fractional distance is A over B, which is 2 over 3. This is a nice question. So now this part was to locate a point if you have a fractional distance, which is A over B. Now we will locate a point, but with given ratio. Means we are going to partition نقسم اللاين بس بنسبة معينة ratio معين. We will call this ratio M to N. M to N. So if C has coordinate x1, D has coordinate x2, then a point P that partitions تقسم line segment in a ratio of m to n نسبة m to n m إلى n نسبة is located at a coordinate this formula where m is not equal to negative n. So we will now remember that the ratio needs to be in order, used in order. If you have 2 to 3, so this is your m and this is your n. Of course, x1 will be still the initial point, x2 is the terminal or the final point. Okay, let's see here how can we apply this formula. Find the coordinate of point x that such that the ratio is 3 to 1. He is asking from mx to xj. So mx, x is somewhere here, to xj. So where is the starting point? M. Where is the final point or the terminal point is j. So x is the point that he wants to locate. البوينت اللي بدنا نحطها بنسبة معينة. Final point is x2. x1 is 2, x2 is 18. This is important to order your solution. Now, what is m to n? M to n is 3 to 1. Means m is the 3 and n is the 1. m to n. هلا هيك صار عندنا كل المعلومات اللي بدنا اياها. Now, our point x will be according to the rule. نرجع للرول. شوف الرول شو بقول. n x1 plus m x2 over m plus n. Remember it this way. By the way, I teach my students like this. This is m as a ratio. This is ratio m, n. So n will be multiplied by x1 and m will be multiplied by x2. It's not cross multiply, but this is how to remember it. So x will be at n x1, 1 times 2 plus m x2 over n plus n, which is 3 plus 1. So it is 1 times 2, 2 plus 3 times 18, which is 54, over 3 plus 1, which is 4. Now add, which is 56, over 4, which is 40. Means x, and if you want to locate it, if you are asked to locate the x, this will be the x. This is the location of x. The ratio is 3 to 1. يعني نسبة 3 إلى 1. فعلا إذا يعني دققت النظر it will be like 3 to 1. المسافة بين 14 to 18 4. 14 to 2 12. فعلا 4 to يعني 12 to 4 it's if you simplify divide both by 4 3 to 1. يعني صح. كنا صح. Now find the coordinate of point x that has the ratio mx to xj is 1 to 1. If you remember, يعني if you know that 1 to 1 means what 1 to 1, يعني this distance will be the same as this distance. So mentally you can find it as a midpoint, يعني كأنها نقطة المنتصف. But let's apply the formula as it is. So now if you want to find this x in this situation, it will be as nx1 plus mx2 over m plus n. In this case, m is 1 and n is 1. But x1 and x2 will be different. We have m and j the same. He is applying at the same. M الفاينل وال j is the terminal. x1 is 2 and x2 is 18. Let's apply now. 1 times 2 plus 1 times 18 over 1 plus 1. And we are dividing by 2. So it's 2 plus 18 over 2, which is 20 over 2, which is 10. And 10 is exactly the midpoint as we might expect. Okay. Now let's go to another number line. We want from ax to xf, we are locating x. So this is A, نهاية البداية. F is the final, the terminal, which is x2. This is A. F is the x2. which is at 5, m to n, m الأول, then n, and apply. So your x is formula شو قلنا؟ تذكر هي this is the formula nx1 plus mx2 over m. You can write the formula every time if you feel that you are not familiar with nx1 mx2 over the sum. So it is negative 21 plus 5 over 4, which is negative 16 over 4, which is negative 4. So x will be at negative 4. يعني نفس اللوكيشن تبع C. Okay. Here another number line. We have 12 to 7. So our m is 12, our n is 7. I'm repeating this because in the next lesson you are dealing with the same thing but in the coordinate plane. So you have to be very careful about this lesson. Find the coordinate of Q on FL. So F is your x1, L نطالب FQ to QL. So starting F, ending L. L is x2. F is negative 15. L is here, which is, as we see, 4. Let's apply. We have nx1 plus nx2 over m plus n. And I'm doing with you. You can do it alone now. Calculator can help in these calculations. So it will be at negative 3. So if you want to locate it, it will be, if this is 0, negative 1, negative 2, it will be somewhere here. Q will be here if you want to locate it. Perfect. Let's go to real life application. At birth, the ratio of baby's head length to the length of the rest of the body is 1 to 3. So this is M and this is N. Since it's a ratio, خلاص نسبة على طول نطبق. Baby's body's length is 22 inches. Now, it's not given x1, x2, but it's given as the total length. So what shall we do? We can assume that the first point is 0 and the last point is the 22, which is the length of the body. If you don't have a starting point, then you will assume the first is 0. How long is the baby's head? So we want now to apply to find the length of the baby's head. نفس الشيء nx1 plus nx2 over m plus n. So 3 times 0 plus m is 3 now 1 times x2, which is 22, over 20, sorry, m plus n, which is 1 plus 3. So starting from 0, ending at 22. So x2 is 22, m to n, yes, m to n, so 1 to 3, صح. So it is 22 over 4, which is 5.5 inches. This is the length of the baby's head. Perfect. Taj is hanging a picture 5 over, now this is not a ratio, this is a fractional distance, which is A over B. Remember not to mix them. Of the distance from the floor, this is the floor, to the ceiling. The distance is 12 feet. If the distance between the floor and the ceiling is 12 feet, how high should he hang a picture? He wants to hang the picture somewhere here at 5/8 of the distance from the floor to the ceiling. So similarly, we will not use the form, the previous formula. We will use this formula, which is x1 plus a over b, x2 minus x1, since a fractional distance is given. x1 is 0 because we don't know where it is, or it's just 0. We can consider it's the reference point. الأساس هو x1, and the last point x2. So x1 is 0. Last point is the height, which is 12. And we know that the fractional distance is 5 over 8. So it's 0 plus 5 over 8, x2 minus x1, 12 minus 0. So it is 5 over 8 times 12. Similarly, we can find 5 by 12 divided by 8, which is 7.5. And we are dealing with feet here. So that means we will have the picture at a height of 7.5 feet from the floor. And this is the last real life application in this lesson. Thank you for listening and goodbye. شكرا لكم. هذا كان الجزء الثاني من الدرس، وإلى اللقاء.